Hey everybody, Drew here with Smokecraft Barbecue, and today we're cooking beef ribs. Today for our beef ribs, since we're cooking in our 270 KC today, we're gonna cook with some B&B oak lump charcoal. We're using oak charcoal today because this is a traditional Texas dish. If you're cooking on offset, you're gonna wanna use post oak to get that true deep Texas flavor. So the oak charcoal is gonna do great for us, and we're gonna add a chunk of hickory in there as well, just to give it a little bit more smoke. But let's get this fire started. So today we're cooking some beef ribs. These are absolutely gorgeous. This is considered one of the premier cuts in the world of barbecue. Beef ribs, these right here, these are full plate ribs. Okay, these also are known as dinosaur bones, if you hear dinosaur bones. It's got 3 giant bones. It comes from the top end of the ribs on the cow. And you can pick these up at a local butcher shop, ask a butcher for them. But these are some certified Angus beef ribs, and you can see just already the amount of marbling that's within them. What's gonna really make a game changer about these is they're gonna be so super tender once we get them smoked today. But it is gonna take some time, but it's a relatively simple cook. We're gonna walk you through it start to finish here. So we have 2 great looking racks here, and these are considered plates. So they're 2 plates, 3 bones each. These weigh right now probably in the area of 6 to 7 pounds each. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take all of this hard fat on top of the rib off of it. This is not gonna cook down. This is not gonna eat well. You need to get rid of it. So I've got a really nice Wusthof 6-inch curved boating knife here, and we're just gonna start taking it off. Now you can see there's some silver skin here. You don't wanna leave this on here, in my opinion. I really think that if you get the gaminess, it's just not gonna help your flavor, and you're not gonna be able to adhere your rubs if you have that layer of silver skin that you're not gonna wanna eat. It's gonna eat tough. So go ahead, stick your knife down under it, pull it off, get it off of there. Just take this all off. And you're not gonna have to go that far. It's not like a brisket where you're trying to leave a certain amount there. You just wanna take it off. Gosh, you just look at that marbling on these, that certified Angus beef. It's just fantastic. Just coming across. Get all of it off. All right. See, this doesn't take very long. It's not that much. Nice, easy trim. Get underneath that silver skin. Just pull your knife right through so we're not losing any of this gorgeous meat. Now, when you find these ribs can be quite expensive, especially in today's cattle and beef market, but they are absolutely worth it. So this is a special occasion when you go ahead and bring these out. And just pulling all that fat right off of there. And be careful where you place your hands, you know, so you don't accidentally have a knife slip right into you. That always hurts. Being outside, got that bee certainly is interested in interested in it today. All right, now you can, if you really wanted to serve these individually, you could split these and cut them on each bone. The challenge with doing that is that you're gonna get a fat bone and 2 smaller bones, and it really cooks better as a whole. So I discourage you from doing that and then cutting it at the end instead. All right. And last little piece here. All right. And I don't want to dig too far into the piece of meat. There's going to be some fat that can't come off. So we're going to leave that alone and just work with it. All right, let's just make sure it's nice and smooth. All right. Now on the back side, you have this huge membrane. And unlike a pork rib, which you want to take the membrane off, we're going to leave the membrane on. This will help hold the rib together as it cooks. If you take it off, the whole thing could fall apart. So we're going to go ahead and leave it together here. And this is pretty much now ready for us to go ahead and season and go. Let's get rid of all this fat here. All right. So for our beef rib here, I'm going to do, because of all this amazing marbling, when you cook this, the meat is going to shrink significantly. This is going to be about half of the size, even with those bones. Once it's done, they're going to come up all the way to about here. So we got to be careful that we don't over season the meat. I know that there are a lot of videos out there that say season a really heavily big piece of meat, but in my experience, if you over season it, because your surface area shrinks, the salt and pepper and the rubs aren't going to shrink with it. So you're going to end up with a more powerful and intense flavor if you over season it. But today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and rub it down real quick with a real light layer of just some yellow mustard, classic yellow mustard. And when I say light layer, that's it. I just want this as a binder. I've seen people use hot sauce. I've seen people put the rub right on, but I just want just a little bit of something to hold that rub and get it in there. Just like if I was doing a beef brisket in the backyard. So get those edges. Now today I'm going to use Killer Hog's AP seasoning. This is a salt, pepper, garlic mix. I like this on beef ribs because it has a little more garlic, and I like the garlic with the beef flavor. You can do this with straight salt and pepper at home, some kosher salt, some 16 grade cracked black pepper, 50-50 mix of that. That's going to be your true Texas style. But this is a pre-made mix. Just gives me that consistency I'm looking for. And I really just like this as a base rub. So we're going to go ahead and just season on there, season up high. And that's about all I'm going to put on this, because I'm going to add just a little bit of heat, because I like a little bit of heat on my meat. This is the Jack Daniel's beef rub. This is a really nice beef rub. It's a big, bold, beefy flavors, and it does have a little bit of heat. So we're just going to put a little light layer of this on top and just add that next level flavor. Again, I don't want to go too heavy because it's going to shrink down, but we'll get it in right there. And we're going to go ahead and make sure you kind of hit those sides. Bounce it off the side of your hand. That's it. You can see how I haven't over seasoned this piece of meat. I'm going to let the beef speak for itself. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get the other one trimmed up. We're going to let this sit and soak in for about 45 minutes to an hour. Let all those flavors come out, and then we're going to go ahead and get it into our smoker today. So let me get this other one trimmed up and ready. We'll see you back in just a little bit. It's been an hour that we've been waiting to put these beef ribs in our smoker today, and our 270 KC, which we're cooking in, has come up to a preheated temperature of about 350 degrees. We're going to cook today at 275 degrees, and we're going to put those in. You don't want to go too low with beef ribs because there's a lot of fat you got to break down. If you go too hot, you're going to burn them. So the 275 range is right where we want to be. I've got a water pan in there too to help maintain moisture, and we're going to cook inside of a pan. You see these two beautiful plates seasoned here. They're going to shrink down significantly, so they're a little tight right now, but they're definitely going to shrink down as they cook. So let's go ahead and get them in the smoker. We're going to toss in a chunk of hickory on top of the B&B oak lump charcoal that we already have cooking in there. And we're going to put them in, and we'll check them in about 4 hours. It's been 2 hours since we put the beef ribs into our 270 KC smoker, and we're now going to take a look at them first time. We've been sitting right at 275 degrees, which is perfect, exactly where we wanted to be. So let's get in here. We're going to take a quick look, see how we're looking. Oh, those are looking great. They're beginning to pull back just a little bit on the bone. We're beginning to get some really nice color. You can see that mahogany from the smoke. And they're looking a little dry on top, so I've got some apple cider vinegar right here. So we're just gonna do just a quick spritz. Notice how I'm just like flicking my wrist because I don't want any like build up in any one spot. And we're just gonna spritz it. Oh man, those look so good. All right, that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna check it. We'll start checking them every hour now that it's had that first 2 hours, and then we're gonna probably get ready to probably wrap them around 5 hours based on how they look right now. But we'll check back an hour and see where we are. It's been 5 hours on our beef ribs in our 270 KC, cooking right at 275, and these bad boys are ready to wrap. So let's go ahead and get them out of the smoker and take a look at them. Oh man. Oh wow. Look at that. You can see underneath them all that fat that's been rendering down, and you can see what I was talking about earlier in terms of how much they've shrunk down, and the bones are sticking out. These are absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna go ahead and finish these out by wrapping them. I'm gonna wrap them just like I wrap a brisket. So I've got 2 pieces of peach butcher paper here that are 18 inches, and I've got them just slightly overlapped. Just because these ribs are so big, a single piece just isn't quite big enough. So let's go ahead and let's carefully pull them off. Oh man, that just feels so tender. It's just already getting there. So we're gonna go ahead and push it up just a little bit. Wrap over. Pull tight, but not too tight because you're not trying to bend the, you don't want to bend the piece of meat and bend those bones out of there. We'll go ahead and just flip it over. Hold it tight. And I'm gonna flip it one more time, and I'm gonna bring this piece in. And you see I have all my paper ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it one more time. So the meat side's still up. And now I'm just gonna fold this underneath. It's a little different than brisket, but I think with the beef ribs that this technique works better. All right, and nice and tight, airtight. And I'm gonna put them into a new pan, and I'm gonna put them in a new pan that's still also on a rack, so any additional liquid can come out of them. So let's take this other rack. Oh, man, look at that pullback. Gosh, this is gonna be so good. I don't know how I'm gonna wait. This is so yummy looking. All right, so we're gonna cover, pull tight, make sure that paper is tight. Fold once. And this one's a little bit better size, so we're gonna fold it again. Take our ends. Fold it up, fold it over, up, over, nice and tight. That's all the way. All right. So with all the fat in these beef ribs, I'm gonna take them much hotter than I would take a normal rib. So these are gonna go all the way to between 205 and 208, and we're gonna start temping them. It's gonna take us at least another hour and a half to get there. So we'll go ahead and set a timer for an hour and a half, put them back in, and then we'll start checking them out. Let's get them back in that heat. It's been an hour and a half since we wrapped our beef ribs, and we just took a look and just checked where they were temperature-wise, and they are ready. We were searching for an internal temperature of 205 to 208 degrees, and it looked right between the bones, and we are there. So let's go ahead and get them out of the smoker. Oh, so good. You can see all that fat that it continued to render while it was wrapped, now coming through the paper and soaking the paper. So just to show once again where we are, you can feel where the big bones are, and so we're gonna shoot between the bones. You can see the couple poke holes I put in here already. We'll just follow the holes down, And you see we're 206, 207, 208 degrees. So we're exactly where we want to be there. And over here, we're 207, 208, 209, so exactly where we want to be here. So total cook time on these beef ribs was 6.5 hours, 5 hours unwrapped, an hour and a half wrapped. And now they're sitting in their paper wrap, which the reason we used paper was to help continue to build the bark by letting them breathe. Now you can do them in foil, but if you do them in foil, you're going to be more braising them. You want to add a little bit of beef broth or consomme or some sort of liquid inside to braise them. But this is continuing to let that air flow through the paper. It stops the smoke, but it should have helped it continue to build a great bark. So these are now done. We're going to let them rest for an hour, and then we're going to unwrap them and see what all the goodness is. It's been an hour of anxious waiting to get to these beef ribs. It's time to go ahead and try them now. We've gone ahead and let them rest. We let them rest in the own wrap. And the wrap, we didn't put anything in this wrap, so it's just been resting basically in its own tallow as it's cooked. So let's go ahead, let's unwrap them. Let's take a look at what we got. Oh man, look at that. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful beef plate rib. Oh, it just looks so amazing. Now you can see how much that it has shrunk down here. You know, I mean, when we started off, meat was all the way to the end. We've lost this kind of corner over here to the side, but these bones, oh, they're just wiggly. Oh, I think I can pull one right out if I want to here. You know what? Just to prove how tender this is, we're going to go ahead and do it. We'll go ahead and pull this one out here so we got the room on that side, but look at it. That's just coming right out. And out it comes. Oh, man. Just a little bit of that membrane stuck on the back. Remember, we didn't take the membrane off. But that is a dinosaur bone right there. This thing is super, super tender. Let's go ahead. Let's cut between them. Let's see what we have inside. Oh man, it's just so tender. It's just coming apart. Ooh, look at that. It's barely holding on to that bone. All of that meat is broken down. This other bone just came right on out. This folks, this is a beef rib, and this is just unbelievable. So let's go ahead and let's just cut a small piece and cut a bite. Give it a try, see how it came out. Oh man, just pulling all the way apart. Definitely done. We've waited for 7.5 hours now for this tonight. Wow. That is good. That rub on top is perfect. Just a little bit of heat. You know, you have that salt, pepper. The meat is just falling apart tender. And you see that smoke ring right on top of it, right there. And that smoke in there. Man, that's excellent. It's just pulling right apart. Can't stop eating. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you all learned something today about some beef ribs. These are just absolutely amazing, falling apart, gorgeous. You have to try these at home. Make sure that you follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Smokecraft BBQ. If you like this video, press like below and make sure you subscribe to see all the other great things we're doing at Smokecraft. We'll look forward to seeing you all next time. I'm just gonna keep eating this.